What is up everyone, Martin Gill here, back at it again with another Genshin Impact video. This is gonna be a really quick video because an official post about Zhong Li's buff has just been dropped and it is huge. We're gonna take a look at it right now. So it says, to all travelers, recently we have received a lot of questions and feedback regarding Zhong Li. We understand the love that everyone has given Zhong Li and the rapt attention being paid to any future changes to him. As such, we apologize for the tardiness and the announcement concerning said adjustment. Okay, while this is really interesting, it's really important to note that this buff will not be coming until at least 1.3, which is in February, and these buffs are still not final, so take everything with a grain of salt. Okay, first things first, they're gonna change his passive from 33% HP scaling from his ultimate to his basic attacks. As you can see, it does a significant amount. As of now, it's still not clear whether attack is better on him or HP, because attack does scale pretty well on him, but we'll have to see. This is really interesting because it kind of changes the way Zhong Li can be played. Currently, I think the best build for him is attack, geo damage, and crit damage. After this patch, it might be attack, HP, and crit damage, or HP, crit damage. As you can see here, the damage is increased quite significantly. On average, if you don't have any HP percentage main stat artifact on Zhongli, it should give you like an extra 200 damage without crit. So if you have like a 150 crit, which for anyone with a crit damage helmet, it should do around like 500 more damage, which seems like it's actually a decent buff considering how many times he hits. Second change, his pillars will also scale on HP. This time it scales on 1.9% HP, slightly more than the basic attacks, but I don't know, this still doesn't feel very strong compared to the basic attack scaling, but any damage improvement is still a good buff in my opinion. This is the main thing here. His ultimate will not be nerfed with the removal of his passive. The HP scaling for his ultimate will just be moved to his ultimate alone. This is actually a really big part of the buff in my opinion, because his ultimate was the best part of his kit easily, and just by nerfing it could have been really bad for him. Okay, second big change, adjustment to his E hold. If you guys don't know, the E is tied to two abilities right now. The E tap is the pillar creation and the E hold is the shield creation. Right now the hold ability is kind of clunky because the cast time is quite long and you can get knocked out of the cast animation, and the cooldown is quite significant as well. The changes made here is to his E hold, where you can use his shield and his pillar creation simultaneously. This is a bit weird if you have C1 because you still want to have two pillars at once. This will create one pillar, but a good buff nonetheless. It's important to note that this E hold also scales on HP now. They didn't specify how much, but I'm assuming it's the same as this 1.9% here. It's a slight damage buff. Any buff is a good buff in my opinion. And finally, this buff to his E hold, where it's harder to get knocked out of the casting animation of the ability itself. This is really important, especially in tight closed area like Abyss. Previously you had to run away to cast your E hold. Now you can just cast it in the middle of the fight and not have to worry about getting knocked out of your casting animation. This is really important. And finally, a change to Geo. I think everyone really wanted to see this because Geo as an element overall felt very underwhelming. Currently what it does is that it gives you attack damage based on whether you have a shield up or not. I'm not too sure whether this attack damage only applies to physical or any sort of damage, but it seems like having 2 Geo on your team right now will increase shield strength by 15%. It increases damage dealt by 15% now rather than attack damage dealt. So I assume that what it previously did was increases just physical attack, now it increases all attack. This is really interesting because Geo now directly influences your damage output. Just having 2 Geo characters to put up shields and switching over to your main DPS could increase your damage by a significant amount. And finally, dealing damage to enemies will decrease their Geo res by 20%. I think this change helps Ningguang out a lot. It increases her damage output very significantly because she does only Geo damage. As for Zhongli, it will help his ultimate do more damage, but beyond that, it's still a nice change. This is a really short video, so that's all for now. I'm really happy that they're making this change because Geo and Zhongli really was underwhelming before this. Have to see how it actually pans out when the patch drops. Just looking at numbers, it doesn't seem like a lot, but we will never know. Maybe HP crit damage could be really insane. We'll just have to see. So thanks for watching.